What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Now, I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss what the Bioshock 4 job listings can tell us about this game. Now, Bioshock 4, pretty much under wraps. There's not a lot known about this game, and actually next to nothing. Although, we do get the privilege, I guess, and in a good way. I really do like the way they've handled it, where they have told us, Bioshock is coming. We're not going to say if it's a reboot. We're not going to say if it's a sequel. It's coming. It's going to take years. You just got to be patient, and that's it. That's all they're going to give us. And I'm fine with that. I think that's really, really cool, actually, that they're willing to do that. But we can get a little bit from job listings at Cloud Chamber Studios, which is the studio that is making this Bioshock game. So here's some of the here's like the description of the job listings. I'll read it out. I'll show the pictures as well, and then we'll talk about what it could mean for whatever this game is, Bioshock 4, Bioshock whatever. So one listing for a senior AI engineer mentions high ambitions for tying AI and storytellers together in this strongly narrative and systematic game. The game will have several AI systems for this person to work on, including an urban crowd system and systematic tribal ecology of a sometimes hostile AI. Another listing for a lead combat/AI designer tells prospective applicants they'll be working on developing an FPS combat paradigm that is accessible, satisfying, and allows for a high degree of player expression and experimentation within a highly reactive world. Now, that's an important one. I'm going to go back to that because I think that one gives us the most info just in general, and that they'll have to think beyond direct conflict, accommodate various playstyles and design encounters that can be resolved through player ingenuity. It's not a huge amount to go on, so on, so on. So actually, like that, so that one, the second job listing, honestly, I think gives us a lot. The first one is more or less talking about the AI, kind of like the inner workings of the game. But here's the deal. Here's what we can tell from this game. It definitely sounds like a Bioshock game, right? I think especially with Bioshock Infinite, one of the main things they started to push or move closer to was the ability to kind of handle things more than one way. Now, actually, Bioshock has always been that kind of game. Now, it's not full on like that, right? It's like it doesn't push it to the boundaries like, say, a Dishonored does. Although I'm not even that big of a fan of a Dishonored. That game has just never been able to get me. But Bioshock has always been willing to go in a direction where it's like, hey, you have these weapons at your disposal, you have these powers, you're going to level them up however you're going to do them, and you'll be able to handle situations various ways. Now, in Bioshock Infinite, again, especially from like the game teasers or like the game trailers leading into it, which never really became what the game was. Remember, like I think it was one of the E3 trailers, there was so much happening at a time in that game where you would do the zip lines and there'd be all these different things going on, and you could use Elizabeth in all these different ways, and some of it happened, a lot of it didn't happen. And I think that what it sounds like with these job listings, honestly, is more of a movement towards that. It doesn't say like a second person, but, having people basically, they're hiring people that's saying, hey, people are this game is going to be designed to literally allow people to do things very differently, right? One play style is not the only play style. Very highly reactive world, beyond direct conflict, again, to accommodate various play styles and design encounters that can be resolved through players. And again, like an urban crowd system, so talking about like an environment, talking about other people out there, AI, a hostile AI. So definitely seems like, to me, I think they're going, and this is good news. Honestly, it's good news. I don't think it gives us a hint as to, like, is it going to be a Bioshock 4 or a Bioshock remake? But what I think it does is it's, again, what Bioshock had always danced around and always flirted with, and then especially Bioshock Infinite, especially in, like, those early trailers. And I don't know if there's ever been comments to it. I assume it was just one of those situations where it's like, hey, we wanted to do stuff like this. Maybe we had parts of it, but we couldn't get the whole thing out together by the time the game released, right? So I feel like these job listings are more like, hey, we're really going to embrace that, because I think what happened with Bioshock Infinite was people I think generally enjoyed it. I really loved it. It doesn't get the same, I think it's a very underrated game just in general, but the best parts of that game are those parts where, again, it's like flirting with something greater. And a lot of people do know of what it was kind of supposed to be or could have been. And so it looks like these job listings are saying, all right, let's just go fully into that, you know, same kind of big. I think we've had, I don't know if these are the only ones. I thought that at some point I read something of like bigger world as well. So I feel like it's going to be a world that's a little bit more expanded than Bioshock Infinite. Again, that would lead to creativity, basically, right? Being able to handle situations in various ways. And again, having that hostile AI, having a systematic AI, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's going to be lots of, I think there, I don't know if that hints at like, because people keep saying like they want to go to Rapture. I don't know if you could read into that and kind of say it doesn't really seem like Rapture is the idea unless Rapture is like fully populated, because it sounds like there's going to be lots of people. I mean, Infinite had people in it. There were scenes, you know, with large crowds, stuff like that. And it seems like if you're talking about the amount of people that these job listings are talking about, I don't know if you'd have it in Rapture. Rapture was more of like, well, everything's already gone, right? Everything was already destroyed, and you're kind of going in afterwards, and there's really, there's big daddies and there's stuff like that, but there's really not that many people just hang, they're not having like the conventions over in Rapture, right? So it's a situation where I don't know if you can, it's not something that going into this video, like kind of pre-reading these things, it's not something I thought about, but maybe you could read into that and say, well, maybe it's not Rapture again, maybe it's again, not like a city in the sky, but maybe it's some sort of area that just has a lot of people in it. No matter what, I mean, it seems good. Like, I'm reading this, and again, if you didn't know it's a Bioshock game and I read this kind of stuff, you could maybe piece it together that it would be about, because it sounds very Bioshocky. It sounds like a natural kind of like movement forward for the franchise. Again, embracing what Infinite probably tried to do and just couldn't get it all done, but also, again, what Bioshock had always been close to, definitely embracing it and moving forward. And again, this is going to be several years away. I'm predicting personally, and I have predicted like 2 years. I think this is like a 2022 game. So this is going to be like, we're into the next console generation at this point. We're fully in. This is going to be like a game that embraces next gen. So it's going to be really exciting, because not only is it a new Bioshock game, not only is it a new studio, new people working on this, right? It's not Ken Levine anymore. They've moved on from all that. So it's going to feel very different, very new, like a new approach to Bioshock, but it also sounds like they're taking what has been working for Bioshock and like evolving it, and it's in the middle of the console generation, right? Like fully embracing next gen. So really, really looking forward to this game. I don't think it's all that long until we see it. I know they said it's not going to be several years till we see it. I feel like they mean when we play it. That's like when it comes out. I think this is a game that we probably get to see at some point next year in 2021. Until then, 2020 is just a year of speculation, conjecture, all that kind of stuff. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think these job listings hint at anything specific? Do you agree with what I said? Can you read anything else about these job listings that I didn't say? Let me know. Also, let me know if there's any Bioshock specific videos you want me to make in the meantime. If there's any news, anything like that happens on Bioshock, I'll definitely be covering it on the channel. But if there's something else you want me to talk about Bioshock related, definitely make sure to leave it in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, have that bell icon hit, all of that good stuff. Leave the like, leave the comment, help push this video out. You guys truly rock, and I hope to see you all on the next Bioshock video.